I'm going to be talking about smarter growth. I try to look at it from a different perspective. So I'm looking at it from growth, starting by understanding your customers at a deeper level, at a core level, where you understand their beliefs and why they're doing what they're doing. So I wanted to start with this quote, which was where we ended off last week, which was a small business that values its clients will always outperform a big business that doesn't. I'm Fatima Barrera from Barrera Marketing. And I help businesses, small, medium-sized businesses, to really understand their customers so they can grow long-term sustainably, just by really understanding at the core who they are. So this is who I help. And I wanted to start here and then get into a bit more context later. But ultimately, I help service-based businesses who rely on trust, repeat clients, referrals, and long-term relationships. So industries like consulting, financial services, legal, healthcare, and other professional services, and subscription-based businesses. So customers that are really looking to get customers returning back and just really looking and exploring different things we can do from a retention perspective. So they really understand that trust and client retention drives real growth, and they're established. So they may have been around for 3+ years and they already have a client base making at least a minimum of $1 million. I find that clients that are bigger tend to be more focused on the client. If you're just starting out, for the most part, I think that there's a lot of focus on client acquisition. So they've tried a lot of various tactics, but they're not getting the results. Sometimes what I've seen a lot of is they copy other people. They do what other people are doing, expecting it to work for them. The growth maybe has stalled. They know that something needs to change before it's too late. So these are the people that I would be looking to work with. And they may also be unsure of who their ideal client is. And when that happens, when they're not sure who their ideal client is, they end up guessing, which is not where you want to be when you want to grow your business. So what I do is I help businesses stop the frustration of trial and error and really start growing predictably, sustainably, and building those relationships that they have with their customers. So what I do is I combine the data with direct client insights to identify patterns and customer activity. And then I do that through client interviews. So I uncover what the real reasons why clients leave, for example, why they stay, why they refer, why they don't refer, what's also working, what isn't working. So then once we have all that information, I'm able to provide clients with the strategic roadmap, which with key insights that will help them take that next step in that right direction for growth. So the secret to growth is really, at the end of the day, keeping more of what you have and more of what you earn. So the analogy that I like to use is like this leaky bucket. The more you start filling it in with new clients, for example, or new sales, if you tend to forget about the clients that you already have, you're losing them on the back end. So you're constantly on this cycle of always constantly trying to get new clients in the door. And I think either we've had this experience, or we know of somebody that has in the past or even now, where they're spending money on marketing, they're spending money on ads, and it's great to do that. But what I want to make sure clients have is that strategy. Why are they doing it? Because I think ultimately, all tactics work. It just really depends on the one that aligns with you and your business. And if you're just copying someone else because you see them being successful, I think that that's always the blind way to go about your growth. It's just relying on what other people are doing. So I just want to go through a very, very quick example, just really understanding what's going on with your business. So just as an example for a consultant, some clients will renew after a few years, and even for insurance, for example, clients leave after a few years. They either renew or they quietly leave. And when I say quietly leave, they just leave and you'll never know why. So what I'm saying here is clients are staying or they're leaving, but do you understand why they're leaving or why they're staying? Because if you understand why they're taking that action, whether to stay or to go, you have knowledge to be able to act you're able to be proactive as opposed to reactive, in growing that business. Because otherwise, if you don't know why they're leaving, you don't know what you can do to actually keep them longer. And so this is what happens is businesses go wrong because they start guessing. So smart businesses don't guess, they actually know. So without those clear insights, businesses rely on that trial and error. And they may change the price, they may run more ads, they may tweak messaging, but it would be better if they actually knew what works and what doesn't work by actually connecting with those clients. So the way I look at it is guessing is really expensive. So insights are what gives you the information to be able to make those decisions, make those smarter decisions. And so here's just overview of what I do. So what I always say is data, actions, and what clients actually do or don't do, and the numbers behind it tell you the what's happening. So the surface level information, the conversations, the stories is the why behind it. So why are they leaving? Why are they staying? Why are they choosing you versus a competitor? So once you understand why, you're able to tweak your business and adjust your business accordingly. And those client insights that you get from the data and the conversations is absolute gold, because now you understand and now you can grow your business with actual knowledge that's coming directly from your clients. So it's kind of like looking at this Lego analogy. So imagine if you buy this Lego set. This one here has almost 2,500 pieces, which is, I've never done one like that myself, but if you've ever done one like that, I'm sure it's pretty daunting and time consuming. But if you do buy that and you dump all the pieces, you've got like all these pieces on the floor, and then you're trying to build it without instructions. So what happens if you're building it without instructions? The business, you're just guessing what comes together, how to build it, how to put it together. You're not going to get this output, which is this desired outcome of what you see on the box, if you don't have those instructions. So when we talk to clients, it's like getting that missing piece, which is the instruction manual. Now you can build that business with clarity, because now you know how it comes together. One of the things that we always see, I think, as entrepreneurs, we see that, what's the secret to growth? What's the secret to growth? And I think that ultimately the best secret is that there is no secret. I think it's really just about understanding your clients. And it's not about more clients, it's about getting the right clients and getting more of the right clients. Because once you know who they are, you can retain them longer, you can serve them better, and you can attract more clients just like them. And that's how, this is what I help my clients do, is grow smarter, long-term, and profitably. And the best part is you have a successful business with happy customers, right? And so ultimately, if you think about a business that keeps chasing leads but never really seems to grow, or there's rising costs, like right now in our breakout room, we're talking about the rising costs, everything's getting more expensive. And can they afford to keep making the same decisions and spending on things that are not actually giving them a result? And so imagine if instead of chasing new leads or spending money on things that maybe don't make sense, they focus on keeping the right, helping them keep the right clients and attracting more just like them. So growth isn't just about retention, and there needs to be a balance with acquisition and retention ultimately. But what is that? And understanding your clients is going to get you to understand that balance better, so that you could grow your business. And also by combining the data insights and the interviews, we get a full picture of actually what's going on in the business, and what we understand, better what clients value, why they stay, how to serve them better. And by doing that, you're ultimately growing your business without having that over reliance on spending. And that's basically what I help businesses do. So I'm hoping that was clear for everyone. And I've got here, if anybody wants to do a coffee connection, or if anybody wants to refer, connect me with somebody that they think might need to look into this a little bit further to help them grow a little bit differently than they've traditionally done. And I have one last slide here that I wanted to end off with, which I think a lot of us could relate to this, is when you tell people what you do, they're like, oh no, thanks. I've got what I need, or I'm too busy to do something. So I just wanted to end it with this.